What's your biggest non-sexual fantasy? Move to Ireland and live on one of those gorgeous country landscape, away from society. Sometimes, I imagine being able to get my own cozy apartment and do things like raising cats, cooking and sewing. I could try new things like gardening as well. Just a quiet, peaceful life without stress or worries. Mine is in a similar vein. Quiet, peaceful life. Even the sewing, cooking and critters is on point for me. I take my fantasy a little further. I live in the country in a small house with a lot of natural light and with no one around, and I can hear birds in the morning and silence instead of cars. Here to the coziest of fantasies. 3. To be yearned for. I love the verb yearn. I've always wanted to have a popular webcomic. I can make funny jokes, although not consistently, and I can draw to a reasonable standard, but I don't think I'm quite good enough to make stuff people would actually want to read. Still, if I lose too many shifts from the coronavirus outbreak, maybe I'll give it a crack and see what happens. Go for it. No webcomic is 100% zingers. Everyone has jokes that fall flat, and drawing ability doesn't matter much as long as your art is consistent. Exquisite has gotten by with stick figures for years now. To run and dance naked under the sprinklers at a big broccoli farm. This is oddly specific. I can travel back in time to when I was in like 2nd grade and try my life over again knowing what I know now. It always starts with me telling my parents to buy stock in Apple lol. You should also invest your $5 allowance in Bitcoin. When I'm in the shower I like to imagine what it would be like to be famous and interviewed by Oprah. Oprah would ask if I always thought I would be famous, and I would answer that I would stand in my shower thinking if I was ever famous I would be interviewed by Oprah. I get stuck in this thought loop until the water turns cold. It's 40 minutes later and I haven't scrubbed myself yet. Same, but my interviewers alternate between Mark Maron and Terry Gross. To be loved. Same. Also, I'm just so fucking touch-stuffed. I dream of one day having someone to cuddle with. I don't care about being mega rich, but to live comfortably, financially, in a cozy house with lots of animals and a job I love, is a dream of mine. Same. Financial freedom is my ultimate goal in life. Whatever the number is, I want to earn enough money so that I can wake up every morning and do whatever the fuck I want to do without answering to anyone. I'm in New York City. I eat a slice of pizza from every pizza shop in the 5 boroughs. Every one. All in a single day. From this I have no ill effects and feel perfectly fine the next day, which is steak day. This is where I eat a steak from every steak restaurant in New York City. From this I have no ill effects, and I'm ready to wake up to badge all day. This guy gets it. This is just all a horrible dream and I will eventually wake up in a utopia. I'd absolutely love to be a magical warrior with mystical companions and familiars, a dragon, and living in a magical world with magical creatures. Biggest fantasy since 3rd grade. Lol. Edit, I didn't expect this to blow up. Thank you all for all the replies. I'm sorry I couldn't upvote them all, though I certainly tried. Yes, I do play D&D. This is my fantasy as well. I used to sit in my room and stare out my window wishing a portal would open and my favorite characters from my favorite books would jump out of the portal and tell me that they needed my help. I'd pack the essentials, then jump through the portal with them. That led me to their world and I'd never look back. I'm 32 now, and I still fantasize about that sometimes. Go to sleep and wake up refreshed. Live in my own house/apartment, which may not be huge, but is not cramped. My job may not be my dream job, but it allows me to live relatively comfortably. I have friends who care about me, to love and be loved. Edit. I'm really surprised that so many people also dream about this really attainable life. Seems kinda sad that way, but I'm glad we all have something to live for. I fantasize about these because I'm too young to date, going to college this year, haven't gotten a job, haven't moved out, etc. I do have friends who care about me, and I want them to still be there in the future. I hope all of you find peace someday. And to those who have attained this already, thank you so much for giving me hope. I've got everything here except a lover. nice bed and plenty of time to sleep, my own apartment, a job I enjoy that pays me well above what the average American makes, a few close friends who I can rely on. I still find myself yearning for something more, and I often think about dropping it all to try and start over somewhere else, thinking that would make me happier. Then I remember that happiness doesn't come from what we have. It comes from within. Deciding to be proud of ourselves and who we are. Deciding that we are worth fighting for, and then acting on it. You could achieve every single thing you mentioned and still be miserable. I suggest you take some baby steps to improve yourself. Maybe find a healthy diet that you enjoy, so it's not a chore to follow it. Maybe start working out in a way you enjoy. Hiking, swimming, sports, etc. Maybe look for ways to volunteer your time and help the community. All I'm trying to say is that you are worth it. When you start believing that and acting on it, your goals will come naturally. You need to decide to be happy first though. Winning the lottery, then building an average sized or slightly above average home, but customized to how I want it, not like 65 bedrooms and 37 bathrooms, 3 to 4 bedrooms, a library, project room, kitchen with professional quality equipment. My girlfriend is a trained pastry chef, but a medical condition made working in the field difficult, so she had to stop. She wants a nice kitchen for when she wants to play. If we hired a chef, I don't want to embarrass them with the mess stove from Home Depot. Doesn't have to be the most expensive available, but I want quality equipment, green/solar powered, able to charge my Tesla Model 3. Traveling the world some, every so often, not like non-stop. This, and then being able to use trusts and get my nieces and nephew into college or trade school, whatever education they want to pursue. And try all the hobbies I've always wanted. Sometimes I have this fantasy of packing up my things, getting in my car, and driving somewhere else, and starting my life over. I did that. It was worth it. I barely keep in touch with my family because they are toxic and hateful. I got married, went back to school, got a really stable job. Totally worth it. It was a struggle at first, but I'm happy with my progress and new life. Edit. I was lucky in my situation. It isn't that grand of a story. I met someone I played games with online and moved from Arizona to Louisiana. He let me live with him. His mom, best human being in the world, did her best to hook me up with work. I ended up finding my own job in retail. Got married to above mentioned man. As I worked in retail, I went to a community college. Got great grades. Had to stop for a bit to work. Worked at a horse racing track. Went back to school with help from a debate team scholarship. Graduated. Started working for the state. That I actually get to play D&D instead of DM. If I could, I'd invite you to a session where you could play. I've been writing a book on and off for about 6 years now. My fantasy is to finish it and have it become a Hunger Games style hit with young adults, then become a movie. I would be heavily involved in the movie and John Bernthal would play one of my main characters, and then we'd become friends. When I'm feeling extra silly, I imagine winning Best Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars and crying in front of millions of people watching while I tell them that regular people can make magic too. I get it. Mental stability. You smart. I hope you go to college. Living in the Star Trek universe where there is no money and we all pursue what interests us. Food, shelter, healthcare and education are all free, and we all try and get along. The whole planet. Total fantasy, but that's what I would love to have happen. I came here to say this, and you beat me to it. But definitely pre-reboot era Star Trek, which went a little haywire in that regard. Writing and publishing a book. Grandiose, but maybe one day. It starts with writing. Focus on that, and once it's written you can explore the publishing options. The publishing part is probably going to be easier than writing and finishing and editing the book and all that jazz. So do that part for you. Write what you want, and find the story you want to tell. Go for it. Getting food today. 2 chicks at the same time. I'd love to have 2 freshly hatched chicks to gently snuggle and pet cause I just think they're so cute. I wanted the same. Ended up with a big cock instead. Woke me up early every morning. But I love that rooster. Fuck man, I just want a hug. Suggest puppy. playing my music in an arena to tens of thousands of rabid fans. My similar fantasy always dealt with making a great song that people loved and was epic, but I could never actually think about the performing part without such high levels of panic, and that's what made teenage me realize I wasn't cut out to be a rock star. I can play pretty good, but that goes out the window if anyone is visibly watching. I'm not a performer and absolutely don't want to be on stage. I wrote a book about solving world problems in your own home. I fantasize that 100 million people will read it. To move to an isolated area in the mountains, get a house to share with my best friends, or even not so best friends, have a garden and other things that would help make us as self-sufficient as possible, but still have somewhere to go to buy other stuff fairly easily. I'm actually going to do this when I retire, but each night when I'm trying to fall asleep, I imagine this in my mind, and it makes me happy. That I have a small shelter that exists outside of time that I can summon and go into, and inside of it is a bedroom with bed, bookshelf, kitchen with all the amenities, bathroom etc, and since it's outside of time I can spend as much time as I want inside, and no time passes in the real world. So when I'm really tired I think about how nice it would be to just pop off and sleep a few hours. This would be so awesome. Thanks for giving me a fantasy that I didn't even knew I needed. Well, because of my current situation, quarantine, and rain, I'm gonna have to say warm summer weather, getting out in my favorite sundress, eating homemade tacos in the yard with my friends, some Elton John on my Bluetooth speaker, laughing and having a good time. There's a golden evening glow on everything, and the atmosphere is heavenly. That's what I've been fantasizing about. Sounds very relaxing. Having Omnitrix. Seriously, I used to bribe God's statue by giving him fake money and asking for Omnitrix when I was 8 to 9 years old. This reminds me of how I used to pray almost every day to live in the world from a book series I read when I was a kid. Sure enough, an RPG's based off the game came out, so I got to put my own character in the story. The one where I come into work and nobody talks to me, and I just get my work done. Then I look up at the clock thinking it's got to be around 1 PM and actually it's 5:05 and it's time to go home. I'm pleasantly surprised and happy to have had a nice fast day at work. To walk again, so I can hold my wife in my arms. I hope this becomes a reality for you. To become an actor in movies/series, not for the money or the fame. I really just want to work as one. Try background acting. If you've got a general look about you, it may be something that fulfills your dream. Being able to exactly measure pasta for how much I would like to eat. If you can manage to do that, you must be a wizard. To be able to just be free of my medical conditions. I've had to give up the army, give up baseball, and even give up on someone I loved for a surgery that ended up making me have nerve injuries, and they hold me back from so much. Being with friends, being able to go to parades, being on road trips for more than 3 to 4 hours at a time, unless we plan on going to a gas station halfway in. I would be a way better person, I feel, if the surgery went the way it planned, but that opportunity is gone. And now I have to live the rest of my life dealing with it and hoping it stays stable for as long as my body can. Edit. Typo. Imperial dominion over the galaxy. Hell fucking yay. To live in the Lotta universe. Yes, live as a hobbit without a care in the world. To travel the multiverse for all eternity. Shape-shifting and time traveling forever whenever. Magic worlds are super cool, and I want to have all pets live as long as they're owners. That my sister can get herself and her family their own home. Yes, I have a dream.